This May the 14th Picks edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for bettors. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with the promo code SGPN and get a $25 matching deposit bonus. We're also brought to you by Naira Bets. Claim your $200 deposit bonus today at nairabets.com/SGPN200. Promo code SGPN200. Welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sport Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Tuesday, May the 13th. We are here to handicap a full slate of MLB action for Wednesday, May the 14th. Joining me from somewhere in New York is Mr. Dylan Rockford. D-Rock, what's happening?
Oh, it's good, Malcolm. It's very good. My Knicks up 3-1, going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Mets best team in the majors. I'm flying high right now. Flying high. Preakness week, huge Preakness week as well. Looking for another winner, but I mean, how can anything go wrong right now?
Absolutely living the dream, aren't you, Dylan?
Yeah, don't wake me up.
You said a friend of yours was in Newcastle at the weekend.
Yeah.
He went to the match. He went to the Newcastle-Chelsea match. I was at. You just showed me some photographs of him stood by the River Tyne from the Newcastle upon Tyne. Lots of people don't understand the upon Tyne bit. It's the River Tyne. We are upon the River Tyne. And that was the river he was stood next to.
Yeah, I got to get out there. I got to get a jersey as well. Even though I am a Forest fan, I got to get out there, have a couple pints, some fish and chips. So can't wait. I got to get back there.
Get belligerent, Dylan.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, I'm currently 90% of the way through a hate watch. I've got the football on. Sunderland are the local rivals here to Newcastle. And they are playing in the playoff semi-final for promotion to the Premier League. So it's scores are tied. So in 7 minutes, it's going to penalties unless someone scores. So if you see me slightly distracted, if you see me fall off my chair or jump out the window, that's exactly why. So I'll try and hold it together. Bob's here watching the last half an hour before he has to go to bed as well. So that's what's going on there. John has joined us in the chat. John Cullifay, welcome along. If you are in the chat, by all means, say hello and give us some picks. If you haven't had the chance to join us live yet, if you are a regular podcaster, get along to YouTube. It's all fun and games. And like I say, it's a nice little community of people who post plenty winners in there. Again, there's a couple of double headers tomorrow now. So I've been out playing football. I've just come in. And lots of things have changed, or a couple of things have changed anyway. Up on the East Coast, the Twins and Orioles game has been postponed, as has the Phillies and Cardinals. So that means we've got two double headers tomorrow. But it also means that the games are kind of off the board. Initially, we had Bailey overtaken on Dean Kramer. That's now disappeared. Simeon Woods-Richardson looks like he's getting the nod. Eric Fedde was taken on Nola. That's now changed to Fedde and Luzardo, Gray and Nola. So a little bit of a mess. We will deal with them, but we won't be able to handicap them possibly as fully as we were.
Malcolm, real quick, it should that should be kind of the theme this whole week up until about Friday or Saturday. It should be raining all week here on the East Coast, from all the way down to Washington, DC, all the way up here to New York. So it's going to be raining all week here.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out for that then, mate. Good knowledge. Ralph joined us in the chat. Ralph Garcia, welcome along. Loads of stuff going on the network this week. Celebrate by getting some gear from the merch store. The D-Gens line of gear is live. To celebrate, we're taking 20% off everything with a promo code D-Gens. I've got my sweet MLB Gambling Podcast hoodie on, but the D-Gens line of stuff is really good. Let's get to this card as best we can. Starting with a little bit of baseball. We have a 1:10 Eastern first pitch between the Milwaukee Brewers and the Cleveland Guardians. Milwaukee are officially TBD. I think it's left-handed pitcher Jose Quintana. For Cleveland, it will be Gavin Williams. And this is a match on the books. It is -110, each of two. I haven't seen a total for this one, Dill. Have you got a total for this Brewers Cleveland game?
Yeah, we got a total of 8.5, -105 towards the over, -115 towards the under.
Okay. So yeah, I think it's going to be Quintana going for the Brewers. The Brewers under Quintana have been okay.
Yeah.
We had one bad start against the Cubs, but everything else around it's been pretty solid for Quintana. Gavin Williams doesn't convince me at all. He's got a 173 whip, which is a concern. He walks far too many batters, which is factored in there. Cleveland are just hitting 217 against left-handed pitching. Jose Ramirez had a 3 stolen base night last night for Cleveland. I think the second or third in his career. But the Brewers have got a really good record against righties in the first 5 as well. 16-9 taking on right-handed pitching in the first 5. That number, coupled with I'm not convinced about Williams and Cleveland not hitting lefties, that pushes me towards the Brewers. But I'm going to take the first 5 here. I'll take Milwaukee first 5 to open us off, Dylan.
Yeah, the value is definitely with the Brewers. I know they're not playing the best baseball right now, especially on the road, just in general, 8-15 straight up on the road. But Jose Quintana, much different pitcher at home than he is on the road. Surprisingly, at home, not so good. Outside of that one really bad game at home against the Cubs, I think he's been really good. I know that they lost, but he pitched well against the Rays in his last outing, just 1 run. And it was that solo shot. But outside of that, he gets a lot of ground balls. And I almost said Indians. The Guardians, they're not the best hitting team against left-handed pitchers, like you mentioned as well. So plus 130. I only made the Guardians a -125 favorite. So I'm not a fan of Gavin Williams here. Total seems about spot on. Mine came out to 8.6. So I do think maybe we could see some runs here, but the value is definitely going to be here with the Guardians at the Brewers at plus 130. I agree.
That may be our first mention of the Indians all season, Dylan. That's a good effort. It's been the Athletics we've been struggling with, Oakland. Thomas Donetti, who listens to the show, messaged me occasionally with some of his picks, and he messaged me today and said he liked the Indians, and I don't even know if he realised that he typed it out. So that's twice today. The only 2 people I've talked baseball to have both come up with the Indians, so there you go.
I love it.
Eli has joined us in the chat as well. Hi, Eli. Welcome along. Second game on the card is a 3:45 Eastern first pitch between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the San Francisco Giants. We have Eduardo Rodriguez, left-handed pitcher for the D-backs. For the Giants, it will be Jordan Hicks. -110 each of two. It is a match on the books with a total, Dylan, of 7.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a total here. Give me the over 8 at -110. My total came out to 8.8. So even at an 8.5, I still like the over here. I know these clubs, they haven't really been involved in a lot of high-scoring games as of late, but with these 2 pitchers, I think we could see some runs here. Jordan Hicks is just a total fade for me right now. Doesn't matter if he's pitching at home or on the road. 2+ runs given up in 7 straight games, and 6 of his total 8 starts on the year have finished way over this total. So he's involved in a lot of high-scoring games. And on the other side, Eduardo Rodriguez might be worse than Jordan Hicks, and that's saying something. He's been terrible as well. Over 7 ERA on the road. Batters hitting 326 off of him. And for him as well, 6 of 8 of his starts have gone over this total as well. So Arizona, bottom 10 bullpen either. They're averaging 5.11 runs on the road, so they are able to score some runs. I do think they'll be able to get to Jordan Hicks as well. Plus, we know in San Francisco, the ball likes to fly. We got 9-mile-an-hour winds blowing out towards center field as well. So 8 just seems extremely low with 2 bad pitchers. So yeah, I'm gonna be on the over here.
Yeah, I can't believe the total. I've seen some 7.5 still in.
I don't get it.
Completely and utterly agree with you. First up, I'm going to mention that Jordan Lawler has been called up by the D-backs today. Huge prospect. I'll give you a little scouting report if you want. He will make lots of decent contact in the zone, has that ability, and he's going to run for fun. He can steal bags. Sunderland nearly scored there. That would be bad. Sorry. He could, 30 stolen bases for Jordan Lawler. Myself and Adam have stashed him on our bench in TGFBI since draft season. We drafted him pre-season, so we've been waiting for Jordan Lawler coming up. So there's a little something for the D-backs. But Erod is in no form at all. 21 earned runs in his last 4 starts. 686 ERA, 167 whip. And also a really poor record at the Giants over his career. 506 ERA. The Diamondbacks have lost 5 of his last 7 games. And you said it, Dylan. Jordan Hicks is just as bad. 1-4, 582 ERA. No difference in his home and road splits. And the stats. Erod 6-2 to the over. Hicks 6-2 to the over. It just all points to the over. So, team ride. And quite the confident one that we can get over 8 runs between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the San Francisco Giants. 4:10 Eastern first pitch is the New York Yankees at the Seattle Mariners, where Will Warren draws the start for New York. For the Mariners, it will be Luis M. Castillo. If you remember, there's 2 Luis Castillos nowadays. Minus 115 the Yankees, minus 105 are the Mariners. And the total here is at 8.5. Seattle are in the middle of they've just hit their first 5-game losing streak of the year, going into the Tuesday night game. Something to keep an eye on because they've started well, Seattle. Mm-hmm. And the other little bit of news here was Oswaldo Cabrera's injury last night for the Yankees. Looked a bit of a horrible one. Kind of immediately when he'd done it, there was concern from everybody, the training staff, the catcher, the Mariners catcher. You just know when there's something up. So that wasn't ideal. I heard Trent Grisham talking about him, and they all seemed absolutely devastated, the Yankees. Maybe, actually, there might be a little hangover from that as well, although that could be in the Tuesday night game rather than the Wednesday one. Will Warren had his best start by a mile at the Athletics last time. 7 1/3, 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts. I'd like to see it again before I back him with loads of confidence. Contrasting to that, Luis Castillo had his worst start by a mile against the Blue Jays. Multi-walks in every game, still plaguing Luis Castillo. I instinctively thought runs here, and the trends back that up. Warren 5-2-1 to the over. Castillo 6-3-1 to the over. The Yankees actually 16-16 straight up to the over. But Seattle against righties 23-6. It's a giant number. It all points to the runs, Dylan. Let's go over again.
Yeah, for me, I'm actually going to take the Mariners here, minus 104. My numbers made them a minus 140 favorite. I'm just not in the business of backing Will Warren here, especially on the road. Over a 5 ERA. Batter's hitting 271 off of him. Gives up a lot of hard contact, so I think he's going to go bat poorly here. Meanwhile, Luis Castillo, he's always been a guy that's kind of pitched better at home than on the road. I know the Mariners, like you mentioned in the beginning, they haven't really been playing good as of late, but I think this could be a nice bounce back spot for Castillo and the Mariners to get back into the win column. I agree. I would even look towards the over 8 as well. My total came out to 8.4. We've seen the Yankees put up double-digit runs in 3 of the last 4 games. This offense is just too good, especially the way Aaron Judge has been raking. So I'm going to trust the Mariners here to get to Will Warren. Maybe first 5 Mariners, but I do like the full game over as well.
Okay, like that, Dylan. Thank you very much. Next game up is Randy joined us in the chat. Randy, welcome along. How you doing? 6:40 Eastern first pitch. Boston Red Sox are at the Detroit Tigers. We have Hunter Dobbins going for the Red Sox. It will be left-handed pitching stud Tarek Skubal for the Tigers. With Skubal on the bump, the Tigers are predictably short. Minus 213. Dobbins and the Red Sox are plus 185. Total, Dylan, is 7.5. What you got?
Yeah, let's go back to the totals. I actually see at least 1 or 2 sevens out there at minus 115. Like you mentioned, I'm seeing 7.5s pop up. I agree with the line movement. My total came out to 7.8. As good as Tariq Skubal has been, the Tigers have been involved in a lot of high-scoring games. The over 7-2-1 toward the over in their last 10 games. They just put up 14 runs the other night against this Red Sox team. They're averaging 5 runs per game at home on the year as well. And Red Sox, on the other hand, Rafael Devers and the offense, they're capable of scoring runs themselves. They're hitting 269 off of lefties. They're averaging around 4.35 runs per game on the road. So 2 solid offenses. I do think Tigers are the right side, but I don't know if Tariq Skubal's going to shove like he did his last outing where he was just dominant. So I do think the Red Sox will be able to score some runs here as well. So 7.5 just seems a little too low here. I'll go on the over.
We can both win here, Dylan. My pick was the first 5 under here. This kind of hinged to me on Hunter Dobbins because he's a big price. But 3 of his 4 starts have been very good. I think it's just name value, really. This is a relatively unknown rookie against one of the, if not the best pitcher in baseball. But 6 innings scoreless against the Royals last time. A 119 whip is a positive stat for Dobbins. Skubal outstanding. 12 strikeouts at Texas on his latest start was a great effort. Conflicting stats here. The SP totals, the starting pitcher totals for both are going under. But the totals for both teams trending towards the over. The Tigers have scored a quite unholy amount of runs recently. We talked about the millions they scored in Colorado, but then they scored another ton last night against the Red Sox and Tanner Houck. 15-5 at home. The Tigers are hard to fade, even if you think Dobbins is going to go well. So I'm going to take Dobbins to pitch well. I'm going to take that first 5 under. Dirt McGirt has joined us in the chat. Welcome. I don't know whether to call you Dirt or Mr. McGirt or what, but he's a long-time listener, first time catching us live. So welcome along, mate. He's at work and claims that we've been helping him make some picks. That can't be me. That's got to be at least Dylan, Scott and Lonte. But yeah, welcome, mate. Really nice to have you along, and we appreciate the kind words. We'll move on with this slate. Once I've told you about Edge Boost, the first ever bank account built for bettors, no usage fees, no minimums, earn cashback rewards, 100% approval for all betting deposits. Sign up today, edgeboost.bet. The promo code is SGPN. Deposit $25, EdgeBoost match it. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. The Preakness is right around the corner, and there's no better time to get in on the action than with Naira Bets. Sign up today. The promo code SGPN200 for a $200 deposit match. Bonus, head to nairabets.com, SGPN200 to claim that $200 deposit match bonus today. That's nairabets.com/SGPN200. And finally, Underdog Pick'em have launched their new ladders game. Win up to 500 times your money watching your favourite players climb the ladder. Use our code MLBSGPN to claim a special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MLBSGPN. 7:07 Eastern first pitch is the Tampa Bay Rays at the Toronto Blue Jays. For the Rays, it is Ryan Pepiot, Dylan's guy, Ryan Pepiot. The Blue Jays will send Chris Bassett to the bump here. Plus 120 Tampa Bay, minus 140 the Blue Jays. Total sits at 7.5. I like Pepiot as well. He's pretty easy to trust that he's going to throw a fairly good start. He's not stellar, but he seldom gets blown up either. He's quite a steady Eddie. He's got a 2.61 road ERA, which you can't have any issues with that at all. Bassett's been consistent, but kind of below average. 4-3, 4-2 earned runs in his last 4 starts. Neither of these appeal straight up particularly. The stat I did pick up was that the Blue Jays are 1-7 in Chris Bassett's starts. Couple that with the fact that the Rays are over 500 on the road. And at plus money here, I think the Rays have to be live. This looks like a toss of a coin for me. So if I'm getting a plus 120, I'll take Tampa Bay, Dylan.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay with the totals here. If you're seeing 7.5, it's actually going the other way. The totals opened up at 8 at -105, and I grabbed that. My total came out to 8.4. To be honest, I don't want to back either side. If you do, I know you're on the Rays at plus money. I probably would take the Blue Jays. Chris Bassett has been better at home, and I think the Blue Jays are just kind of trending in the right direction. They've won 4 straight. And hand up, I know I was very high on Pepe in the beginning of the season. I think I'm out on him. Might be a little too early, but he's just a little too inconsistent for my liking right now. So I'm going to be off of him. Blue Jays, they've been swinging a hot bat lately. 6+ runs in 4 of the last 5 games. They're scoring a ton of runs. And at home is really where you want to back the Blue Jays. The over in those 5 games where they're scoring 6+ runs, the over is 5-0. So I don't know. With Rays, I really don't trust them right now. They're kind of up and down. If you do want to back a side, I would take the Blue Jays, but I think I'm more confident on the over.
I think you've done a little bit of a disservice to Pep. He's been all right. You don't need to be out on him, Dylan.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a terrible pick. Back to the top of the page for a 7:10 Eastern first pitch between the Pittsburgh Pirates and your New York Mets. Left-handed pitcher Bailey Falter for Pittsburgh, and for the Mets it will be Clay Holmes. Mets short here, -263, +220. Pittsburgh total, you can have a 7.5, or you can have an 8 if you want it, Dylan. Your Mets, what you got?
Yeah, the value is definitely with the Buccos, even at this huge price, but I still can't back them. I don't know how anyone could at this point. I think you should wait for a better live number in game with the Mets because they'll either get down early or there'll be a tie game through 5-6 innings, and then you could kind of get a decent price. They're just too good at home, the Mets, and it always seems like they find ways to come back. Last night, pure example against Paul Skeens, one of the best pitchers in the league. They just find ways and they gut out wins to win at home. And meanwhile, the Pirates are just a bad team. 2-8 straight up in their last 10. They're averaging just 2.75 runs per game on the road. You just can't win baseball games with those type of numbers, especially against a top level team like the New York Mets, who they're not going to give you any runs with their starting pitching and their bullpen. And Bailey Falter, he's been bad on the road. I just don't like this matchup for him or for the Pirates. Mets actually hit lefties pretty well, 274 on the year. And if you don't want to take the Mets, I probably would take the Mets team total over 4.5. You got to find a way to find some value here with the Mets. So I do think they'll be able to muster up some runs here. So maybe Mets team total. That's kind of how I would play it, to trying to get some value.
Yeah, this is the best New York Mets home start since 2015, Dylan. And what happened in 2015? They
We
won the
went to
pennant.
yeah.
There we go. Bailey Falter, he's got one bad start against the Dodgers, which is forgivable. Pittsburgh have actually won 3 of his last 5 starts, remarkably. Pittsburgh are on a terrible run. You mentioned the runs per game. I'll make it 16 games in a row where they haven't scored more than 4 runs. And that makes it difficult to run up any kind of winning sequence. Clay Holmes has been exceptional. 6 earned runs in his last 5 starts. He's rocking a 2.74 ERA. 5 wins in a row, covered the run line. Pittsburgh not scoring. And I wrote down, you said in your handicap, Dylan, that the Mets find a way. The Mets found a way. And that's what the last line of my note says. The Mets will find a way to win by a couple of runs here. So, yeah, not a great handicap, but Mets on the run line was my play in that one. We'll go back down the page here. These double headers have knocked everything entirely out of sequence. 7:14 Eastern first pitch between the Chicago White Sox and the Cincinnati Reds. Davis Martin starts for the White Sox. For Cincinnati, it will be Nick Lodolo, -222 for the Reds, +190 for the White Sox, and the total is, oh shit, Sunderland have just scored with literally the last kick
For
of the game.
fuck's sake.
They play 30 minutes extra time. We're in the 32nd minute. That's it. They won't even have time to kick off. Oh, the horrible bastards. Oh, that's wounded me. Not happy about that, Bob.
Well, bedtime.
Yeah, we'll just have to get them beaten the final. We have to go to Wembley in the final and play Sheffield United. So we'll just have to get them beat there. Oh, man. What a load of shit. I hope that's not a omen for what's going to happen the rest of the night here with my baseball picks here. What are we talking about? The White Sox and the Reds. Davis Martin, last two starts, been poor. And the White Sox have lost his last five. Nick Lodolo's game log looks okay, but it's kind of skewed by a really good start in Colorado. He did mention at the time he pitches well in Colorado. He's a bit of an anomaly there. Oh, why is no one marking him? Honestly, he's just not been as good all around it. And the trends are pointing to the over. The White Sox against lefties 6-4-1 to the over. The Reds straight up is 17-13 to the over. So I like the over 7.5. It's always a little bit of a risk with the White Sox, so they don't score that many runs. But a little DGen play also. These two teams have got really strong Yerfy trends. Davis Martin 5-2, Nick Lodolo 4-4. So we've got a total of 9-6 here to the Yerfy. If you wanted a cheeky one of them, we don't often give them out, but it was just something I noticed. So I'll take the over. And if you want the Yerfy, get involved in that as well, Dylan.
I'm going to go the other side. I'm going to take the under 9, minus 122. I'm starting to see some 8.5s as well. My total came out to 8.5, so that's kind of where I would draw the line. Nick Lodolo, you mentioned, he's been a much different pitcher on the road than he has been at home. He struggled this year at home, but the numbers, I think, are a little skewed from one poor start versus the Nationals. To be honest, I don't think he's been that bad, and the White Sox, I really don't trust them either. They're hitting just 217 off of lefties on the year. They've only scored more than 4 runs one time this past week. The under has cashed in 4 of the last 5 games. Meanwhile, the Reds, they've been an under team this whole year, 7-3 in their last 10 towards the under. So I think we'll see another low-scoring game, maybe like a 5-1, 5-2 type of game. So I don't know. I don't think we see an over here. I'm going to take the under.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I saw a total of 7.5 there. If you're seeing 8.5s and 9s, maybe I might
really
roll mine.
I want to double check just because I don't want to give out.
Yeah, one of us is it's potentially me. I did rush to get
Yeah,
these
White Sox and Reds. I'm seeing DraftKings at 9, and then I see 8.5s at minus 130. So.
Okay, that would explain why I was really keen on the over 7.5.
Me too. If it's at 7.5, I'll take the over. Yeah.
The trends are the trends. Listen, the trends don't know what the number is.
No, not at all.
Yes, we'll stick to our guns. Rhythm is your home for AI-backed picks and props. Dominate the NBA playoffs and MLB prop market with Rhythm. Building your own model is simple and easy. They know you love it, which is why they include a 7-day free trial. There's a couple of really good deals on at the moment. 25% off a monthly subscription with the promo code SGPN25 and 50% off an annual subscription with the promo code SGPN50. That's RITHMM, promo code SGPN25 or SGPN50. Get your 7-day free trial, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. MyBookie.ag, our proud sponsors here. Your place to bet on every sport, including the NBA playoffs. Props for every game, the MyBookie money back. Tons of locations, crypto accepted. Head to MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. T's and C's apply. That's MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. And finally, the contest that Dylan is going to win for me, the Circa Resort Fantasy Football giveaway. The ultimate fantasy football experience for a 12-person league to draft in Las Vegas and be treated like VIPs for their stay. 2-night stay at the Circa Resort and Casino for the entire league. 6 double rooms. A cabana stadium at the stadium swim for the draft with a $5,000 bar tab. Limo transportation, Legacy Club party, £500 booze credit at the sportsbook. The contest runs from May the 5th to June the 30th, and you can enter at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. Next game is a 7:15 Eastern first pitch between the Washington Nationals and the Atlanta Braves. Left-handed pitcher Mitchell Parker goes here for the Nats. For the Braves, it will be Bryce Elder. -160 Atlanta, +120 Washington. Total is at 8.5. Dylan, lead us off.
Yeah, where are we? Okay. Yeah, gonna go with another under. Give me the under 9. I wish I honestly bet this one when it first came out, because I'm already starting to see 8.5s. To be honest, I still would take the under. My total came out to 8.2. I don't know if you've been watching Atlanta games lately, but they've been a dead under team this last week. That whole series with Pittsburgh over the weekend, just blindly bet the under. If they gave you an 8.5, it was cash. And 8-2 towards the under in their last 10 games. They've gone under this total in 9 straight games, Atlanta. So not the biggest Mitchell Parker fan either, but a lot of his games actually have gone under this total. And I think this could be a good spot for him. Braves, they're not overwhelming with their bats. They don't hit lefties all that well. They're averaging just 3.4 runs per game in their last 5. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm going under again, under 9. The number's just too big.
Yeah, you're right. Every time I looked at the score, it just seemed to be 4-3 to somebody.
Yeah.
Someone won 4-3. Generally, Atlanta, they might drop the odd one, but it was 4-3. Lube's joined us in the chat. Lube, welcome along. Mitchell Parker, I was really high on at the start of the season. I wanted to get involved with him, had him on lots of fantasy teams. And he started all right. He started really well, and it's just gone south for him lately. Washington are on a season high 6-game losing streak, and they're going to struggle to get out of that slump with the way Parker's been pitching. 4 runs, 5 runs, 6 earned in his last 3 starts. So really hard to bet the Nationals or Mitchell Parker currently. Bryce Elder's been consistent in terms of his length. He's going 6 innings every time. Been better recently as Atlanta tried to get their season back on track. They have got a 13-6 home record, and Bryce Elder is 5-2 on the run line as a favourite. So it might be low scoring, but I think Atlanta could still cover. So we'll take a little 5-2, 6-2 Atlanta win, something like that. I'll take Atlanta on the run line. As it happens, that -160 price, I quite like. I thought it might be a little bit more prohibitive than that. -160 is not a bad little unit and a half play just on the money line for the Braves. 7:40 Eastern first pitch. The Miami Marlins go to the Chicago Cubs. Left-handed pitcher Ryan Weathers makes his season debut. For the Cubs, it is Jameson Taillon, another $2 favourite. We've got really back-to-back chalky cards. Myself and Londe handicapped 6 or 7 $2 favourites last night. Same here. -230 in the Cubs, +185 the Marlins. Total is at 7.5. So yeah, like Ryan Weathers, he's been pretty popular on this show the last couple of years. Was he at the Padres, I think? Across now with the Marlins. This will be his season debut. He was fine on the road last year. He had a 2.04 road ERA in 2024. His last 2 road starts were great. I know it's a long time ago, but I just looked at them as an example of the kind of stuff that Ryan Weathers was throwing, and I've got no problem with it at all. Hopefully he's fit and ready to go. I've got faith that he will be. Jameson Taillon got hit around by the Mets last time, but his home road splits are the key here. 3 starts at Wrigley Field, a 2.50 ERA. I want to trust both pitchers. Both teams trend to the over, but I prefer the pitchers' stats to those. So I'm going to take a first 5 under here. I think hopefully Weathers can go okay if he's primed and ready to go. And Taillon's been pitching well at home, so I'll take the first 5 under, Dylan.
Yeah, I'm going to trust the trends. I'm going to take the over here, over 8 at -110. I don't want to be laying $2 with the Cubs right now. I just certainly trust them, especially Jameson Taillon. He's little too up and down for my liking, especially at this price. My total came out to 8.4. He's given up 2+ runs in 6 of his 8 starts, and I think the Fish can muster up 4, maybe 5 runs in this game. Both teams have bottom 10 bullpens, so I like the first 5 the way you kind of angled it. But once the bullpens come in, I think it's fair game anyway. And you mentioned it, Ryan Weathers making his first start of the year, and I don't know how much I could trust him, especially against this offense. Cubs destroy lefties, so I think we'll see plenty of runs that way. The over is profitable at Wrigley, 13-7 on the year, so maybe if you don't trust the full game, maybe a Cubs team total over. I think they get to Ryan Weathers. I just think this is a bad spot for him to make his debut.
Okay, thank you. We move on to a 8:05 Eastern first pitch between the Colorado Rockies and the Texas Rangers. This is Antonio Senzatella for Colorado taking on left-handed pitcher Patrick Corbin. It's Patrick Corbin Day
I love it.
on the show for the Rangers. Minus 244 with Patrick Corbin. Feels like Bizarro will. If you asked me that last year, when every 5 days we kind of unfairly were like laughed at him, really. He's a $2.50 favourite, but in the year of our Lord 2025, Patrick Corbin is a $2.50 favourite on the mount. Plus 205 for the Rockies. Total is 9.5. You all in on Patrick Corbin, Dylan?
Not at this price. This one was a tough game to handicap because I'm probably not going to bet it, but I did like the opening total of 9. I would have taken that over. If you still see some 9s, I would take that over, but I'm starting to see 9.5s like you mentioned. My total came out to 9.4. Maybe a Rangers team total over. I think that would still be a good play to bet on and at least get some value. Like I said with the Mets game, with these big favorites against these bad teams, you're going to have to try, if you want to bet it, you're going to have to try and dig some value and kind of be creative. Antonio Senzatella, he's been terrible. He's given up 4+ runs in 5 of his 6 starts. And ever since the Rangers kind of fired their hitting coach last week, they started scoring runs all of a sudden. So, and breaking news, by the way, Rockies still stink. Their bullpen stinks. They only have 2 wins on the road. They're one of the worst teams offensively on the road, if not the worst. 2.15 runs per game away from Coors Field. So if you like the Rangers, take their team total over. But if you want to fade the Rockies, take their team total under. That's kind of how I would play this game.
See, I kind of disagree here. I've got that total of 9.5 is high. And one of the reasons being, you just mentioned it, the Rockies don't score any runs. Jake Berger's back, by the way, for Texas. Delighted about that, my guy. Senzatella gives up 4 earned runs every start, and Colorado lose on the run line. But he's a little bit better on the road, 3.79 ERA, as he's entitled to be, away from Coors. Patrick Corbin has this new lease of life with a 3.13 ERA. 3 consecutive 2-1 defeats. Patrick Corbin's pitched in. Texas aren't giving him much help. You're right, the bats have livened up a little bit. But all the trends here point towards the under. Senzatella 6-2, Corbin 4-2. The Rockies 7-4 against lefties to the under. Texas 21-10. So all 4 pitcher, team. Everything points towards the under. Corbin's pitching well. Senzatella's better on the road, and the Rockies can't score any runs. So 9.5 is too high for me. So we've got a bit of a crossfire there. We'll find out, Dylan. The proof is in the pudding. 8:10 Eastern first pitch between the Kansas City Royals and the Houston Astros. This is a game that's off the board, and I shall tell you why. Presently, Michael Lorenzen is confirmed for Kansas City. But for Houston, listed this morning was Ryan Gusto, but I'd sat and watched Ryan Gusto pitch on Monday night, so I knew it wasn't Ryan Gusto. And then Ryan Gusto disappeared off the slate here. Ryan Gusto pitched 2 1/3 on Monday, so maybe he could go as an opener again, although I doubt it. So frankly, I've got no idea what's happening. It doesn't mean we can't pick a bet in this one, for the reason that Michael Lorenzen's home road splits are stark, and that he's got a 5.47 road ERA. He's given up 7 home runs in his 7 road starts. Houston are better at the juice box, although it's not the juice box anymore. And it's easy enough to keep fading Lorenzen. So, regardless of who goes for Houston, I think the Houston team total taking on Lorenzen is a perfectly fair play, Dylan.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Colton Gordon for the
Okay.
Astros. I think they might be bringing him up as the name I saw, and if that is the case, I gotta take the Royals here. They're one of the hottest teams in baseball outside of the Mets, especially if I'm getting plus money. I still don't trust Houston, even at home. I agree. Michael Lorenzen, much different pitcher away from home. At home, he's been unhittable, but on the road, he is acceptable. So I like the angle Houston team total over. But I think the Royals. I trust Michael Lorenzen, honestly, more than Colton, a kid from the minors. No disrespect to him, but Michael Lorenzen has been there, done that. Top 4 bullpen as well. And they actually score more runs on the road than they do at home, the Royals. So they're another gritty team. They just find ways to win in extra innings. Doesn't matter if they're home or away. At plus money, I'm going to take the Royals here, plus 106.
Okay. The next 2 games here, I've got back-to-back heartbreak stories involving these next 2. Back-to-back bad beats, one of which was last week and one of which was last night. But they're very much brought to mind by these next 2 games. 9:40 Eastern first pitch is the Angels at the Padres. Kyle Hendricks goes for the Halos, and Randy Vasquez goes for San Diego. Minus 180, San Diego. The Angels are plus 160, and the total is 8.5. Last night, Monday night, I had a 14 parlay. I don't do this very often. A 14 parlay. And let me try and find who. I can't remember who I picked now. Oh, I picked the Rangers. I picked the Cubs. I picked the Braves. And I picked the Padres. And the Padres were sitting pretty, weren't they? Until they gave up 6 runs in the 9th inning, including a grand slam, and lost. And the worst thing about it was I watched the highlights with my cup of coffee in the morning. So I watched the first 3 games and I was rubbing my hands together. I was laughing buckets up. And then, of course, the Padres go well in front and I was counting my money until that horrible, horrible, horrible fight back. So, yeah, that's grossly disappointing. Where are we going? Hendricks, 1-4, 5.30 ERA. He's thrown the odd half decent start. The Angels are only 3-4 in his start, so you kind of instinctively want to write Hendricks off, but hasn't been terrible. But Randy Vasquez has been great at home. 2.30 ERA. The Padres are 23-15 on the run line as a favourite. It should be one more. It should be 24-14 because of that game last night, but they did blow it in the 9th. And that was LA's win for the series. They took that one against the odds. The Padres should come back and win the others. Padres on the run line, Dylan.
Yeah, that's going to be the play for me as well. You know, sometimes it's scary back in Randy Vasquez, but here we are again. I'll take a shot here with the Padres plus 114. I saw the opening line at plus 121, and I didn't bet it, and we got worse odds. But honestly, getting that kind of value fading Kyle Hendricks on the road, you got to take it. 7 ERA. The Angels have lost his last 3 starts on the road by 2 or more runs. And honestly, Randy Vasquez, he's had back-to-back solid starts after a few poor ones. He is better at home. Padres, they're raking against righties, 275 on the year. I just think this is a terrible spot for the Angels and Hendricks, especially since once he's gone, they have the second worst bullpen in the league as well. So even when he's out of the game, I don't trust that bullpen. Give me the Padres minus 1.5 at plus 114.
Okay. Next up is a 10-10 Eastern first pitch between the Athletics and the LA Dodgers, where Gunnar Hoagland goes for the A's for the Dodgers. It is Yoshinobu Yamamoto, minus 263 or 203, 263, the Dodgers, plus 225, the Athletics. Total here is 8.5. You can lead us off with this one. Just as an aside, Hogland pitched last week in the game where I had a 36-1 parlay let down. Athletics were 5-0 up and lost 6-5.
Wow.
I got 5 out of 6, and that was the 6-1, lost from a 5-0 lead. So yeah, what have you got for this one, Dylan?
That's a heartbreak. Get 5 of 6
Oh,
right.
yeah.
36-1 is crazy. I feel for you. Let's end it with another total. Under 8.5 at -118. My total came out to 7.9. Outside of Yamamoto's last start, he's been the best pitcher in the league, and I to be honest, I don't think it's close. So I don't expect him to have another outing like his last one. I think positive regression. He's going to bounce back here against the Athletics, and with Gunnar Hogland, I know it's only been two starts, so small sample size, but he's been good. Only 3 runs given up in 11 innings. He doesn't give up the long ball, doesn't walk many batters. So talking through it, I kind of like maybe the first 5 under. I think maybe that would be the smarter play since the A's bullpen is suspect right now. They have a bottom 5 bullpen. So like you mentioned, they blew your 36-1 parlay. So maybe first 5 under. Maybe I'll learn from you and I'll take the first 5 under instead of the full game.
These prices, the A's are not terrible. Like, we're looking at these plus 200 dogs here. And yeah, the Rockies are shite. The White Sox, who else? You're not getting Pittsburgh plus 220. The A's aren't as bad as those 3 teams. So plus 225. They're the same on the Tuesday card we did last night. And I do like Hogland. Took him last week. Thought I'd got it right. And he's been really good in the couple of starts he's had. Yamamoto did have a bad start last time against the Diamondbacks, but you've got to trust that he can bounce back from that. He's got a 180 ERA and a 0.88 whip. But I do think Hogland goes well. I wouldn't put anyone off having a pizza bet on the Athletics here, but I'll take a first 5 under. We think Yamamoto's going to be fine, but I've got every faith that Hogland can start okay as well in the early part of the game at least. So yeah, first 5 under between the Athletics and the Dodgers. Dylan, we've got these 2 double headers we need to have a look at.
Okay.
Everything is a bit skew with Twins taking on the Orioles. The game was meant to be Wednesday's game was Ober v Kramer. With Tuesday's game, what was Tuesday's game? Woods, Richardson, and Povich. But Baltimore haven't declared their starting pitchers, so I don't really know what to do with that one. And then the Cardinals and the Phillies have switched the pitchers round. It was Fedde v Nola. It's now Fedde v Luzardo and Gray against Nola. So I'm happy. I have been out, so that was news to me when I came in.
Yeah,
Do you have anything you want to give out on those 2 games, or has your handicapping all gone sideways?
Yeah, my handicap's gone sideways a little bit, but honestly, you got to keep fading the Orioles here. I'll say that they're terrible. Cardinals, they're playing some pretty good baseball here as of late. I actually like the over with the Aaron Nola, Eric Fedde matchup here. Cardinals, they're pretty good right now, honestly. So I do think we'll see some runs. I'm still not a believer in Aaron Nola for what it's worth. They're hitting righties, 261 on the year. Eric Fedde, I think he's pitching the first game against Luzardo. That should be a low scoring game. Eric Fedde on the road has been pretty solid for them. The bullpen has looked much better for the Cardinals as well. They've been playing much better baseball. So can't say the same about the Phillies pen. Bottom 10 in the league right now. So Phillies, they do average a lot of runs at home. The over has been profitable at Citizens Bank Park. They are averaging 5.3 runs per game at home. So I don't know. Probably in the game with Aaron Nola and Sonny Gray. As good as Sonny Gray has been, fade him on the road. Aaron Nola, I would look for an over. I got to run my numbers for that second game, but I think the first game, Eric Fedde and Jesus Luzardo, that should be a good matchup. I don't know who's going for. There's two TBDs for Baltimore. I think Dean Kramer should be one. He was the guy going against Bailey Ober, and then Sean Woods Richardson. Who the hell knows it? That could be anyone. But Twins are actually playing really good baseball right now, so they're off my do not bet list. They're on my bet list now.
Yeah, I'll give you the sort of pertinent bits that I picked out, and you can jigsaw together a bit if you want to. The Cardinals are hot, 9 wins in a row. So quite hard to fade at the moment. Feddy's coming off a complete game shutout at Washington. The system tells you that you're supposed to fade him after that. So we'll see. But Aaron Nola, who I think is going in the second game now, his record is very surprising 1-6. His bad starts are by far outnumbered his good ones. So yeah, that was what I had in that one. As far as the Twins and Orioles were concerned, you just whatever pitches were going, I don't think it would have changed my handicap. The handicap for Tuesday was I prefer Ober to Kramer. I prefer the Twins to the Orioles. Same goes whether it's Wood Richardson or if it's going to be Sagano or Uncle Charlie or whoever. And you're going to get a decent price. There's not going to be a huge disparity between the prices. So I'd be taking the Twins in that spot. But yeah, can't add too much on either of those. D-Rock, as a result, we are nice and tight on 50 minutes. Have you got a lock and a dog for us?
Yeah, we'll start with the dog because I thought that one was the easier one. We'll go back down the page. And then, I mean, getting plus 114 fading Kyle Hendricks. We got to take that. Plus 114 at home against one of the best teams in the league in the Padres. Starting to play better. Randy Vasquez, like I said, back-to-back solid starts for him. I think he'll be able to limit the Angels. Once Kyle Hendricks is gone, that bullpen is going to let up a few runs. So minus 1.5 at plus 114. I will take the Padres on the run line. For my lock, there were a few that I liked, but I guess I just don't understand this total. We'll go right back up to the D-backs in San Francisco. Over 8 between two bad pitchers in Jordan Hicks and Eduardo Rodriguez. Jordan Hicks is just a fade, like I said. It doesn't matter if he's home or on the road, but 2+ runs given up in 7 of his 8 starts. Both pitchers are 8-2 towards the over. We have wind blowing out. Everything points towards the over. So I don't understand it. I would bet it now because I think maybe it could go to 8.5, but I would take the over. That's going to be my lock.
I need to stop letting the co-host go first. Lonte did this to me last night as well because my luck, I did want the over in the Diamondbacks and Giants. It absolutely jumps off the page there. Let's go for the Atlanta run line. I'm just way out on the Nationals. I did watch them. I explained why I watched them a lot last week, and I'm out on them. Parker's really struggling. And I like the little fact that Elder's going 5-2 as a favourite on the run line. Lou points out the Braves are clawing their way back to 500 brick by brick. And I mean, why wouldn't you take the Athletics at plus 225 to get a win against the Dodgers? This could be a shootout. This is going to be a low variance game. Hogland's going to shove. Yamamoto's going to shove. The A's can piece together a little rally in the 8th inning and come back from 1-0 down to win 2-1. That's what's going to happen there. So I'll take the Athletics at plus 225. Home runs, Dylan. Ever since you started being miserable about the home runs, I don't think I've hit one for a couple of weeks either.
Terrible.
Maybe 5, 6, 7 shows. But come on. Tonight's the night, Dylan. What have you got?
I mean, at a certain point, I think I'm just going to blindly bet Aaron Judge every night. I mean, if we're getting plus money in Aaron Judge, it's just fantastic right now. Luis Castillo did just give up a home run as well, so he is susceptible. He has given up 4 home runs on the year. So, yeah, Aaron Judge, he's too good. I'll take Aaron. That's a cop-out, but I got to hit one. I got to see one go through the net before I start unloading on some no-name guys.
It is a bit of a cut. You just it's shit odds in it. It's like plus 180 every night.
You might as well take them for 2 at like 7 or 8 to 1 at that point.
Okay, so you can't hit 1, but you're happy to pick someone who's going to hit 2. Yeah, is that what you're telling me?
Might as well.
I noticed Michael Lorenzen's capability to give up home runs. 7 homers in his 5 starts. So he will go into Houston tomorrow and give up an 8th. And it's got to be Christian Walker, hasn't it? Christian Walker, and he'll give it the double finger guns as he rounds first base. I like the double finger guns from Christian Walker. So we'll go with the Walker home run. Dylan, anything you want to tell the people about before we let them go?
No, just hope you enjoyed the pod. Good luck on all your bets. Enjoy the games, and let's have a good week. Let's just have a good week.
I held that together pretty well because let me tell you, I am absolutely furious that that goal went in. Like absolutely livid.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and see if I can find a local cat.
Just
to
go
kiss.
take a bath and relax.
Too late for a bath, mate. I came in from football an hour ago and had a shower, so I can't double dip. Yeah, I'll find something to take my mind off it. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, everyone who joined us. 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow for whoever's doing the show. Preakness stuff all over the network. I'm doing the Mothership with Sean and Ryan tomorrow. Off the back of Kentucky Derby success, I will try and find the Preakness winner as well. So, yeah, appreciate that, everybody. Good luck with your bets, and we will see